I'm currently on a sabbatical and my first stop is Portugal. Welcome to day 3 of my travel journal. I started off the day slowly and just had to go back to Otrevo, which has quickly become one of my favorite places to eat in Lisbon. Is it the fact that the service is so intimidating and I always feel like I have to be on my toes when I order? Perhaps, but it's probably also the delicious and affordable food. Here I had another bifana under the watchful eyes of Anthony Bourdain amongst all the hustle and bustle. I then met up with my good friend Antonio for a little field trip. We took a train to Belém, where we had a beer and looked around the Museum of Art, Architecture and Technology, which happened to be showcasing the work of Joana Vasconcelos, known for her large-scale art installations. We then boarded the ferry to Trafaria to check out the town and its sandy port. The ferry ride was a lovely opportunity to view Lisbon from different angles. Trafaria is just 20 minutes across the river, but feels much further away, feeling like a getaway from the big city. As we embarked at the port, it almost seemed like everyone else we had been on the ferry with had vanished into thin air. We were there on a weekday, and it felt especially sleepy and quiet. It was a real joy to walk around the port amongst the colorful fishing boats and explore the quaint, colorful streets. Since we arrived at 4 p.m., the restaurant's lunch service had ended, so we quenched our hunger pangs with, yep, you guessed it, another beer. Antonio's currently also on sabbatical, and we took the time to reflect on our hopes and dreams and questioning what day of the week it was. It was a Wednesday. The ferry ride back was exceptionally beautiful, as the sun cast its magic on the water, landscapes, and architecture. The ferry was filled with many familiar faces of passengers who had come with us across the river, and I couldn't help but wonder how they had spent their past hour. I was very impressed by the fact that a couple had managed to get a tuk-tuk from Belém onto the ferry, then for an exclusive tour of Trafaria and back. We then boarded our train in Belém, hitting rush hour amidst the busy commuting crowds, a stark contrast from Trafaria. Since Antonio hadn't eaten the whole day, I made a food suggestion. Yes, we were back at Otrevo. Nevertheless, we had to keep some space free in our stomachs because we had a special evening ahead, but more on that in my next video. And that was our little trip to Trafaria. Thank you for joining me.